Shadows are threatening the galaxy, and it's up to you to join the fight. Feel the pulse of Masters of Light, an electrifying action game where you challenge yourself and other players with superpowers of light. Conquer 36 levels with unlimited replay, upgrade 5 skills and become a superhero. The ultimate Master of Light.
Wanderer, my name is Maya.
Straight away, Masters of Light kind of got me on the wrong foot. It requires a room scale play space, which I really don't understand why. Throughout my play, I was playing sat down totally and had no issues playing the game. I didn't need to look around the space because all the enemies are kind of in a 190 direction and you don't have to do much turning. So why it required a play space which was big enough is kind of beyond me. For the most part, you just stood or sat on the spot. You're on a platform and there's no real need to move. There is some asteroids to dodge in places, but again, you don't really need to move. So the big play space is a little bit odd, and it is click turning only. You can turn on the platform, but again, there doesn't seem to be any need for it. I'm not sure why they didn't add smooth turning. So how does it look inside the headset? It looks okay. It's not going to set the world on fire in terms of graphical quality, and it's kind of odd. It's like a 360 video where the entire background is like a flat image what's wrapped around what I would call a VR sphere. So as you're looking around, it's very much a 2D image. This would have been so much better if this system was alive with constellations, bits of the planet moving, not just the warping of the flat image. Particle effects, asteroids going past, it could have looked absolutely beautiful, but it's generally just a 2D image what's in this sphere shape in a VR space, so it's not that inspiring. I wasn't overly keen on the soundtrack. It's a synthwaves backdrop to the game, pulsating action, it's supposed to be upbeat and for all the action what's going on in the game, but there's many times when I was waiting for an enemy to come near me so I could attack it, but I wasn't doing anything and the music's still pumping away. It just felt like there could have been more to the music. When it comes to the gameplay, I feel like it's missing something in translation when it's been ported to the PSVR2 version. On the MetaQuest, it was all hand tracking based, and even the entities what are introducing the new skills tier do show you the actual finger movements you would do to unlock these skills. And I imagine this would be quite intuitive and fun to actually get into. But on the PlayStation VR 2, it is kind of just button presses and moving your hands in and out to fire your balls of light. At its core, this is basically just a wave shooter. The environments, there's only 4 different kind of worlds you would go to, and there's up to 7 enemy types. Although, I think I only counted 5, I'm not sure if there's anything on different difficulties or if it's including the boss fights, but it's once you've got used to the basic enemies, you know what's coming, and then you do find you can be just sat waiting for some enemies to come near you because you've reached the end of that kind of phase. It's very repetitive, but it's also very tiring, so if you're looking for something to work out to while you're climbing the leaderboards, then this could be the game for you. In terms of PSVR 2 specific features, then it's not much what's overly utilised, the main feature being the eye tracking. When you're firing your balls of light, wherever you're looking on the screen, then it does direct your balls towards that location, which is kind of a neat feature. But in terms of the haptics, it does mention there's haptics and headset rumble, but I didn't particularly feel any headset rumble, maybe just because I wasn't getting hit a lot, and the actual vibration in the controller is kind of standardised vibration. I just feel like the whole game's missing something by not having the hand tracking. Even though you wouldn't have the haptics there, you could still have the headset rumble with the hand tracking options. With the announcement that there's actually hand tracking built into the PSVR 2's current SDK, and it came as a surprise to the developers when their game was originally based on this feature. As far as I'm aware, they are working to put that back into the game, so I will get back in and try it out with the hand tracking when it becomes available. I do think it's missing that tactile response of your fingers. During my playthrough, I did come across a few bugs. These were more of an annoyance than a hindrance to my progression. When starting a level, shooting out your balls of light would be coming from beneath my feet instead of from my hands. Until I put my hands higher in the air, then they would suddenly start firing in the correct position. There was a note in the pre-release saying that the hits weren't registering correctly in the first 5 seconds of each level due to the eye tracking not being fast enough, and this should now have been patched, but I don't think that was the issue. I also found that every now and again one of my hands wouldn't be shooting out the balls of light. The sound effect would be there, but visually on the screen it just wasn't firing. And after the levels when you rescue one of the sisters, there was this sound effect of them appearing, which was just constantly kind of looping, and it was just really kind of annoying and off-putting within the menu. I know it kind of sounds like I've just been overly negative on the game, and I'm trying not to be. I'm trying to find some positives, but I just found it quite a generic wave-based shooter, and that not having the hand tracking is probably missing what made it a little bit more unique and stand out from the crowd. Other than that, there's nothing new to the formula other than killing waves of enemies. The boss fights are basically the same, and the finale of the game was, again, just uninspiring. It only took me around 2 hours to get through the game on standard difficulty, but there is some replay value there with a platinum trophy to achieve, mainly for getting through the game on the hard mode, which I've got to do, and then there is the leaderboard challenge. So if you do want to climb those leaderboards, if that's important to you, then it does have some replay value. And it's quite a workout. It is more of a fitness-based game than something that's going to really keep you entertained for hours. I just feel like Masters of Light has failed to kind of light up my imagination.
That we'll never forget. The freedom